In this video, we're going to try to go to the bottom of Chav Zayin Amud Aleph. Let's begin. We were right in the middle of a kasha. The Gemara had brought down that how do we know that there are 21 Leviim that guard? It brought down a pasuk in Divrei Hayamim. The pasuk in Divrei Hayamim said that there were 20, if you made a count, it said there were 24 guards. So the Mishnah, the Gemara wants to understand, were there 24 Leviim? So were there 24 Leviim, or was it like the Mishnah said that there were 21 Leviim? A pasuk always wins. So the Gemara had suggested one answer, that really wasn't 24, and the Gemara explained the psukim, how it really is referring to 21. To remind you, one of them was just there to keep a guy company, he wasn't really a guard, and the other one, when it said 2, it meant 2 altogether. It didn't mean there were 2 plus 2. And that's how we got from 24 down to 21. Now the Gemara has a new answer. You could really understand that all the 24 that are mentioned there, 2 means 4. When it says there was another guard by the parabar, another person there, he was a guard. He wasn't there just to keep company. But like this, please look. Now we're up to the words. Please look inside on Sefaria, or amazingly, if you could look in the Gemara, Chav Zayin Amud Aleph in Mesechus Tamid. The E bias ema in Sefaria, it's Aleph Bet Aleph, and the reason why it just writes Aleph Bet Aleph with a Rashi Tevos mark is because these words are so common. So that's why it's particularly worth it for you to know it, because it will come up 100 times over in the Gemara, and one day, of course, you're going to go through the entire Shas, and you're going to be a big Talmid Chacham, and so it's going to be needed. Here it goes. The E bias ema, and if you want to say Li'olam, E bias ema always means like we're going to suggest another answer, another alternative. An alternative. Iba Yasema. If you want to say Li'olam Chaf Dalid, there were 24 in the pasuk. Kidchsev, as it's written, the simple reading. Tlasa minayu to Kohanim. 3 of these Leviim were Kohanim. Ve'esrim v'chad Leviim, and 21 of them were Leviim. Says the Gemara, V'hahacha Leviim hu dichsev, but it says 24 Leviim. How can you tell me that there were really only 21 Leviim, but just 3 of them were Kohanim? The pasuk says there were 24 Leviim. Answers the Gemara, Kidei Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. It's like Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. To Amar Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, B'chaf Daled Mekomot, in 24 places, Nikru Kohanim Leviim. Kohanim are called Leviim. And this is one of them, where the pasuk says in pasuk in Yecheskel, Navi Yecheskel, V'kohanim ha-Leviim b'nei tzadok. The Kohanim, the Leviim. So you see clearly that Kohanim are referred to as Levi, because we know Aaron HaKohen is from Shevet Levi. He just was dedicated with extra specialness as a Kohen. Now the Gemara continues. That's the final answer. That's the second answer to explain the psukim. Now the Gemara is going to turn its attention to something else that was mentioned in the psukim. It said, Chamisha in the Brisa. Chamisha al Chamisha Sharei Harabayis. There were 5 guards on the 5 gates of the Harabayit. The Arba al Arba Pinotav Metocho. And 4 on the 4 corners of the walls around the Harabayit, Metocho, from within inside the walls. Hey, al hey, Sharei Azara. And there were 5 on the 5 gates of the Azara. The Azara is the main part of the Beit HaMikdash. The Arba al Arba Pinotav. And there were 4 more guards on the 4 of its corners, totaling 18 so far. Mebachotz. And this time by the Azara, the guards were on the outside of the walls. Maishna, asks the Gemara, Maishna, what's the difference that Harabayis, on the outer walls of the Beit HaMikdash, the ones surrounding the mountain of the house, Harabayit, the Avdinan, that we do make them Meitocho, that the guards could stand in, their guards are standing inside the wall. Omaishna Azara, and why by the Beit HaMikdash where the guards, the Avdinan Mebachotz, are standing outside the wall? Answers the Gemara. Amri, they said, Harabayit. By the Harabayit, to eat Tama, if he gets tired, Ubay Meitiv, and he wants to sit, Yativ, he could sit. So Amrinan Mitocho. So we say he could be inside the walls. But Azara, by the Azara, the main part of the Beit HaMikdash, to eat Tama, if he gets tired, Ubai Meitav, and he wants to sit, Lo Matziyatev, he's not allowed to sit. To Amar Mar, for the master said, meaning it's an earlier statement from the, it's an earlier statement, could have been from Amiram or Tanam. Ein Yeshiva Ba'azara, there is no sitting in the Azara, Ella Lemalche Beit David Bilvad. Only somebody from the kingship of David HaMelech, David HaMelech and his children, the kings, were allowed to sit. Otherwise, even Kohanim were not allowed to sit. Now you might be thinking, we talked about people who were sleeping in the Beit HaMikdash even. The answer is that was a part of the Beit HaMikdash that the people who made it Kadosh, I mean Shlomo HaMelech or Ezra HaSofer, the ones who built the Beit HaMikdash, never made those areas holy. So they remained unholy. So they were people allowed to sleep there even. David Milvad Ela Malchi Beit David Milvad. So Amrinan Mebachotz. So we tell them to guard from outside. Now ask the Gemara a new question, okay? Get it fresh. Amar Mar, you mentioned above. Hey al Shari Azara. There were 5 guards on the 5 gates of the Azara. The Hey Sha'arim who? Asks the Gemara, were there 5 gates? If you picture the Beit HaMikdash, if you look back in the video from the very first time we started learning Tamid, in the main part of the Beit HaMikdash, were there really only 5 gates over there? Tahavi Ba'azara, Uriminu. But we have a contradiction on that. It says in a Braita, Zayin Sha'arim Hayu Ba'azara. There were 7 gates in the Azara, not 5. Gimel Batzafon, 3 in the north. So if this is the Kodesh HaKadoshim, and you walk, and that's in the west, east, north, south. So there are 3 on this side. Gimel Badar, 3 on this side. The Echad B'Mizrach, and 1 on this side. There were no gates behind the Kodesh HaKadoshim. So 3, 3, and 1. And we're walking in towards the Kodesh HaKadoshim. Amar Abaye. So we're going to have 2 answers to this kasha. Amar Abaye. Abaye says, Shrei minayu lo tzrich shimar. 2 of the gates didn't require guarding. So there really were 7. Really, even the Braita that says that there were only 5 guards on the 5 gates didn't mean there were 5 guards on all the gates. There were 5 on 5 of the gates. 2 of the gates didn't require guarding. Why? They were probably close by to the other gates. They were smaller gates, and so they didn't require guarding. Rava says, no. Really, that Braita holds that there were 7. And our Braita that we brought down early in our Gemara holds there were 5. But Tanoihi, it's a machlokes Tanoim. Now, it's not free just to create a machlokes Tanoim. The Gemara doesn't want to say if you have 5 and 3, and never mentioned anywhere, and never put down 2 opinions like Rabbi Yehuda says 5 and this person says 7. It just Brisa mentions 5 and another Brisa just mentions 7. You rather try to fit those together. However, Rava says, I'm going to avoid that. I don't have to say that because anyways, there is clearly a machlokus on this topic. Anyways, it clearly is true that there was a disagreement about historically how many gates were there in the Beit HaMikdash. So let's see what Rava says. Tanoi Titania. Because I see in a Braisa, it says in a Braita, Ein pochatin me yud gimel gizborim. You don't have any less than 13 people in charge of money. Umi zayin amarkalin. 13 treasurers is the translation over here, and 7 trustees. Trustees were above them. Amarkalin. Rabbi Nassan Rabbi Nassan says, Ein potchin me yud gimel gizborim. There were no less than 13 gizborim. Kineged yud gimel sha'arim. Opposite the 13 gates. Now, del chamisha the harabayis. Take away 5 of those because there were 5 gates on the harabayit, and so the outer walls. So that's not what we're talking about. Take away 5 of those. So 13 minus 5 is 8. Pashulhu tamni. You're left with 8. The Azara. This Braita obviously holds that on the Azara there were 8 gates. So one Braita says, Alma ikatana de amar tamne havu. we see then clearly there's a Tana that holds that there were 8 gates. The Ikka Tana da Amar Shiva. And there was a Tana that holds there were 7. Once there's already an argument on this topic, so then we can have no problem saying, if you find another brisa that seems to say that there's 5, so say that there's actually 5. The Ikka Tana da Amar Chamisha. And there was another Tana that holds that there were 5. You don't have to say that there were gates and they weren't counted. It says there was 5 on the 5 gates. You could say there were a total of only 5 gates. Okay, we didn't get to the tippy down. We're on the or very close to the bottom, and that is where we'll stop for today.